Okay, welcome in. This is just a temporary one. No, I had not seen there was a. Make sure I actually have it going. Yeah, I had not seen there was a movie done in Blender. That's actually, I think, what it's for. But I had not seen that. There we go. Hopefully this works. I'm trying to stream in multiple locations. Again, anybody that wants to join, I can give you a link. Back to basically the only rules are don't be a jerk, and everybody is welcome. To make sure that find the right stream here. Anybody that wants to join, click on here. I'll have to look it up as far as to look at the Blender. It is an animation program. We're essentially using it in the wrong manner in a lot of ways, but it allows for a lot stronger joints and other things on the 3D prints. So we're really, I don't think it's a good move to move away. And plus, you can do finer details in the models and sculpting than what we found we can do in any of the other programs. I know there's workarounds and everybody's doing it. Everybody has to find a program for them, realistically. It is true there is no best program out there. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. I know when Free Heathen gets a chance, he's hopefully planning on joining us. I sent him a link. Because I had already talked to him. Welcome in, Matt signed to Slack. But yeah, I'd like to do some animation on, or more animation on Blender. Sandy's done some. In fact, Pezla, since you're here, would you like, no, Blender, not Blunder. Would you like to join in as well? We'd love to have you on our stream. Okay, I appreciate it. You're welcome anytime. Obviously, I'm a small streamer for you anymore. But one of these days I'll get Sandy to join me on camera. Well, maybe. The dirty look I'm getting right now, probably not. For anybody wondering, she is sitting next to me. She is not my virtual wife. She is real, right?
I don't know about today.
Virtual today? Okay. Again, you can join without camera on. People are telling you hi, Polymorph.
Hello.
She is kind of sleepy today. She's been not feeling very good, but I think allergies. So
yeah,
she's kind of, I think, sedated. A virtual tuber. You know, we probably should. At one time, we thought about making a dishwasher for her, but it's
would probably be fitting.
Yeah. But it's kind of hard to figure out how would a dishwasher talk. You know, I mean,
just give a little eyes and I don't know, the oven part mouth.
See, the dishwasher isn't an oven.
Oh right. I told you I'm not doing all the day. Not just the front. I mean, I give up. Dun, dun, dun.
Like R2D2, they make beeps. She'll say something. Okay, I'm going to add Maker Millwright in here. Make sure your audio works as well.
Batman?
Yeah, your audio is, at least I'm hearing it.
Perfect. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I need to think about that because we have talked about making a animated dishwasher once or twice, but again, uh, every once in a while I'll get hate for that comment as far as calling her the dishwasher too. So that might end up dying.
Well, PNGs, like there's lots of VTubers, like, and we all, I got nothing but love for Sandy myself, so I don't really care what anyone says. If it don't bother her, it shouldn't bother anyone else. It's not their business, right?
And that is my in some ways my theory, but also it's time out of your day to answer questions about that you could be doing other things type deal. Um, Me annoying her is not that important online necessarily because originally it was annoying. The problem with annoying my wife is it's very difficult in a lot of ways. The bar is too high. Making her mad. If anybody actually ever made her mad on the stream, I'd ban them instantly because
Yeah,
it's so difficult to do that that's not an accident. You
yeah.
make my wife angry, it's not an accident. You know, I will think, or I thought about it. Our biggest thing is running this. We run a full time business, and doing that and streaming and designing is way more time than what we really have. In fact, she'll say I'd spend way too much time in streams, and that's not true. But you know, and especially with us going into the makerspace concept, that's going to take a lot more time.
Yeah,
So,
but it should at some point you may end up with volunteers, you may end up with help that you don't expect, right? So that's
yeah, and that'll help, but essentially it's in our house.
yeah, yeah.
Um, no, we're actually open or we're not open 7 days a week. We are open. Yeah, we will be streaming a lot of that. Then that's going to affect things. But we're actually open from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Now in the winter times we're closed on Saturday and Sunday, and then we're open from 9 to noon on Sunday. Our store hours. Now store hours are different than working hours because that's what our front door is open. We also have to do pickup and deliveries. We have to do repair after hours and before hours, which is more my thing. I like because a lot of times I'll do pickup and delivery after work, and um, essentially
Slack.
for 20, 15 minutes. I wish. Um, Oddly, I've never actually done that sort of thing. Still, uh,
Well, when it
um,
becomes legal, right? You can always
it
give it
is
a
legal
shot.
here.
Is it?
Yeah, in our state, it's legal.
Then you're gonna have a surprise. My suggestion is take it easy.
Um, yeah, I have been involved in the purchase of it for my dad for pain relief, but I've never actually,
Oh,
done
I,
anything
I,
with
I
that.
used like after the car crash, I used to use it for pain relief. But then the basically under advisement, I was told, nah, it's not. It's good enough for short term, but don't use long term. I was using it for sleep and pain relief, right? So
I've actually been curious, but see, neither of us have. Well, possibly me, but not once in food. But neither of us have ever actually even smoked a cigarette. I mean, we're
I highly suggest I highly suggest you don't start. That would be my advice with cigarettes.
oh no, I'm
Oh,
actually allergic to tobacco, so it's a good.
okay.
I can't smoke. In fact, if somebody lights up a cigarette, I won't be able to breathe for hours. So it would have to be an edible even for me on that.
But
But
remember,
I've
you
just
get two
never
different
done anything.
results, right? You get two different results between edible and smoking. And if you have arthritis, the edibles like remember you can go look at different countries and what they think of it. But here in Canada, they do recommend like if you're going to try it, there are certain things like that you can do for arthritis. So if you have arthritis and you want to ease some of that pain, because the thing with arthritis is it gets worse if you don't do things with it. So you might have arthritis in your hands, your hips, your knees, or whatever. But if you don't use your hands, hips, or knees, it gets worse. So it's one of those things.
She's got arthritis. I guess I'm getting the nodules from arthritis, so I'm going to start seeing pain soon. Uh, Welcome in Mecha Form. I know it's a weird conversation for me, a guy who doesn't even take aspirin, talking about it
Yeah.
or
But
things, but
is it weird, or is it just you asking questions? Because there's nothing wrong with asking questions, right?
yeah. It's and I'll be honest, I'm curious like anybody else.
Yeah.
It's just I avoided these stuff because you give me an aspirin, I'll be out for 24 hours. Or when I was a teenager, especially. Not as much now, but I'll be half coherent for the next day. So I was always afraid that I'd be that one guy that OD on it.
Yeah,
Uh,
it'll make you sick, right? Like it does. It makes you sick. So, but yeah, if that's what. Okay, sorry, I forgot to ask you. What are we talking about tonight? What's the plan for tonight?
I have no topic. This week I spent on things outside of even printing.
Yeah.
We did a few designs. In fact, I've got some electronics I've been working on some coding for right here. But as far as for a project coming up, we are adding electronics to a few of our prints.
Well, yeah, because you did the
So
lights, the induction coil lights, right? That was a really cool one.
yeah, we did the induction coil lights. We did the humidifier, the cauldron that smoked, and we're going to be doing a few other ones. No, what tiny from this? No, it has the. This is a relay with a. I get a knockoff Arduino with Wi-Fi on it. I don't know how soon that stuff is going to come out because when you're doing electronics and all that, you have to write the code. I've got to make. I've never actually done Wi-Fi where it connects to multiple things, and I'd rather have it to where the guy can go home and connect it to his Wi-Fi to make it work. There's going to be a little bit more to it, I think. I'm afraid to make it sellable or as a product, because not everything we're going to do is going to be sellable. We are going to have to go away from that, but it is an ESP32, yes. But I'm going. I would still like to keep this sellable, where somebody can produce it and sell the product, ideally. So
Well, yeah, because you want to be design and manufacturing, but you also want to sell licenses for your design. I think that's brilliant. Oh, speaking of, have you heard of Tinker Atlas?
yes, I'm actually listed on Tinker Atlas
Ooh.
as well. In fact, yeah, technically probably too close to me, but
Yeah.
uh,
Well,
but
I
yeah,
mean, you can move your pin, right? So it's not the biggest of deals.
yeah, it's not a huge problem. It's when we open the store, we're going to be fully out there. It's going to be where people. I would rather have a when I'm going to be doxxed. I would rather have a public bathroom open, like
Yeah.
in for somebody,
No, it makes
because I'm out
sense,
in the
right?
country.
Yeah, it makes sense.
If I before anybody comes to visit, I would rather have a remodel my public bathroom.
That'll be a stream.
No, well, I'm not sure I'm going to do that on stream because that's going to be a couple days. I got to do some plumbing and all kinds of stuff. But ideally, before we actually fully go as far as open our address out there, I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
Because if at that point, I'm not going to care as long as it's during hours that we're open.
Yep.
Um, people will be able to visit if they wanted to. Now, it's a far drive from anybody. I mean,
But as I
I'm not
told you
likely
before,
within 6 hours.
I'm like really excited for your makerspace. I think it's brilliant. I think it's very doable. I think that with your knowledge and your expertise and the fact that you're so open to community support for it, I think it's gonna be awesome. It might be a little slow for the first year, but who knows? It could also be huge because these things are growing like wildfire right now.
And it's going to take us at least a year to get the machinery redone. And yeah, I am in the middle of nowhere, and we're planning on also reworking to where we're going to sell prints more ourselves and sell makes, because we are trying to set up with more than what the average person's going to have in their house. I mean, I think we already have a lot of equipment the average person is not going to be able to put in their home. The CNC router takes up a good amount of space. Once we get a little bit more done, I'm going to reach out to the local schools and advertise it, where we can have kids out. But again, I got to have a little bit more done than what I'm doing or where I'm at now. This winter, we're going to try to get a basis done. Unfortunately, I am starting with the soda machine because if I don't, it will might fall apart because it's got a little bit more rust than what the rest of the stuff. So I'm not doing it even in the most efficient order. you know,
Well, I think soda machines are
um,
important. I would say they're important, for yourself and others.
but there's a makerspace here. The guy won't open it to actually anybody. It's basically him milking the government for money. But there is actually a makerspace in our area. He just doesn't let anybody use the equipment or open the doors to anybody. He just, I think he's trying to collect a check from the state and put it in his pocket.
Well,
So,
like one of the things, like there is makerspaces here, and there's a machine shop available. I've not been a part of any of them. There's a makerspace in Vancouver. I drove by it one day. We had talked about it on the channel. But there's also like for the hobbyist train people, I know there's a milling shop available. But like there's dues, there's club administration, there's all this other stuff. So I can understand why people get a little apprehensive. When you get the desktop milling and CNC, that's not so bad. But back to your CNC router, sir. Sir, if I may. If I may. When are our EDC bottle opener and pocket wedges coming?
uh, when I get away from the router and for a solid mill, because I want a little more rigid machine before I do too much metal on it. And the mill
I
is on.
guarantee you that router with the right bit will cut brass or
I
aluminum.
guarantee it will too. It does have linear bearings. I did get a setup for that would handle some milling, but our libraries have 3D printers and bad ones at that, that I know about. It's I don't now the lasers and all that. I don't have a CO2 either. I sold my CO2 laser. Cooling it and everything with our current setup was bad, and the size of it was too small. So,
But you don't like everyone's hooked up on that. You don't necessarily need like a what a 50 watt, even a 50 watt can do quite a few projects. So it's like the CO2 is awesome, but there's definitely a differential where you don't necessarily need it.
and if you've got an IR, you can actually make up for a lot of the lack of the CO2. And I've got an IR and a diode, 20-watt diode. So and a decent sized one at that, as far as cutting area. So I would say that and we do have a small embroidery machine. We have a leather sewing machine. Um,
See the
that sort of stuff.
so uh uh built over bot maker Haas. Where is my patch? Where are my patches, Bob? Where if you got the embroidery machine? Why am I not? Where's my 5 patches, sir?
Yeah, and again, we've got to. What we're trying to do is get some of that stuff set up to where you can walk up and use it, and that's been a problem. I've got so many things that you got to move 5 items around, and then you can get to it, or I've got to haul off.
Well, I
And
think once you have the store going and you get merch going, I think that if you are nervous about what you're doing, I think that'll help. I really do. Like from what I've seen, and remember, I don't have an online store. I don't have any of that stuff. But I think having merch, having air like mail, like mail order, I think that's pretty cool, man. Especially it might motivate you as well. What was it last week? You're saying something about your shop is full and you've got to clear it out, or something like that. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
yeah, the shop's full, and we've got to get it cleared out. And that's what I'm working at. Um, you would think at a 30,000 square foot it wouldn't be full, but when you keep things thinking, "Oh, I'll do something with that. I'll do something with that," which a lot of makers do, you can fill 30,000 square foot. Um,
Are you going to do like a big sale and advertise it, or what's your plan?
right now, we're actually I I know if I have a chance to back out on selling it, I won't. So we're doing is loading up the oldest stuff to where we haven't done with it anything with it in years, and we're just going to haul. We're hauling scrap metal
Okay.
basically, and just getting enough cleared out to where I can function. Yes, Bob is a hoarder. That is not uh, a lack of things. And I've got too much that I couldn't find something I was trying to find today. I was working on soldering some of these boards, and it's like, oh, a breadboard would make this easier to line up all the pins for the stuff. And I have a breadboard. I had one when I was in college. Where is it? you know,
For sure.
and I've got no idea. Welcome in Yachting. So that's what we were trying to do is clear it out. And I also, sorry, I didn't welcome you in NASA Trades, but yes, we're trying to add all that. Plus, we got things we don't use very often, like our powder coating setup, because you got to move things around to get to it and use it. Our smelting furnace now. Um, that's I actually do have a smoker I could let people use. There's stuff I mean, the bizarre amount of tools we have would be nice for people, but I don't think the makerspace will ever in our area pay the bills, and I'm not expecting it will. That's just what I would like to do is where we get everything set up where we're making products on the machines to sell. The makerspace is giving back.
But now,
Uh,
now you're running the danger of something really exciting. Now, I don't know if you follow a lot of YouTube makers, but there's been several YouTube makers who have environments like you, and they either create a TV show or they end up doing live streams and bringing other content creators in and making stuff. So you sir are playing with fire only in a positive way, but you are playing with fire because you could, again, you say you're out in the boondocks, which is good, right? Makes it easier, but there could be makers that want to come out and spend time in your lab with you.
and that
Hello, Mr. G.
once
Hello.
we figure out some way of housing people, or like even a mobile home pickup power outlet,
Yep.
maybe something down the road, but that sort of thing. We're also lowering our bills. I actually think that the way we work in the future is going to be changed. So maybe the maker spaces is a good business market, so people can get out. Uh,
Well, remember, like Murph started as almost nothing, and Murph grew other rep rap festivals. There's a lot of things like I just because I watch a fair amount of builders on YouTube, and I still think like as I said to you before, I really think this is a positive idea. I wish I was in a position to do the same. I wish I was in a position to help yours, but yeah, there you go. You run the danger because there's creators around the world that not only find you entertaining, but would love to come work on projects in your workspace or work with you. But like I said, I'm still waiting for that embroidery machine to fire up and get me some patches. I need some patches, Bob.
the only patches I've actually done are either dye sub or lasered currently, but I that is the goal where we can actually open it up. I need to get a lot of things done. That's where I've been working on instead of unfortunately a lot of our designs, trying to figure out a path, get things organized and cleaned, and that scenario because this place is packed. I mean, I was. It's gotten bad, and we got to get it cleared out. uh, And a lot of it was we didn't have any vision as far as what to do with it, so we just started piling things, collecting for things to do, and a lot of makers can do that
Yeah.
if they don't. Especially if you start out thinking you'll never fill it.
Well, I have somebody coming this week to come clear out the lab. I don't really know I don't know what's going. I don't know what's staying. I basically contacted them. I said, "Help! I can't move these things, and I don't know what to do. Can you come?" And they said, "Yeah, sure." So I feel your pain. The difference is, I think my stuff will be going to auction or eBay. A lot of my stuff. So but if you have like a junk hauler that might do it, because you never know the value of what you got, and you might just want to get rid of it, right?
Oh, I'm actually just going to load it on a trailer and haul it myself. Because if you get a junk vault, or again, that's going to make, oh, well, I don't want him to
Yeah, yeah.
um, take that. I can fix it, or, And that's actually what happened is a lot of this stuff, oh, I can fix that. You know, I'll make a part, or I'll steal that part and I'll make something with it. Or,
Yeah.
That's the problem. So I just got to load it on a trailer and not look at it myself and just haul it.
That's basically what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna point at stuff and be like, "Hey," because I got car parts, I got machine parts, I got spare machines, I've got all kinds of stuff. And I called him up. I said, "This is too much for me. I can't handle it anymore. Can you come help?" And he's like, "Sure." So, and hopefully I'll be able to clean up some space for the holidays and whatever, because the lab is getting a little stuffed. I might even be getting rid of the vending machine. I'm not. I don't want to, but it takes up a lot of room, and I don't know what to do with it.
We have a double vending machine ourselves, and that's again going in there. I'd like to redesign the top. Now that I have aluminum casting, the problem was I don't want to have 3D prints and food necessarily together.
Yeah.
Especially that you're vending.
Yeah.
So I wanted to cast it out of aluminum, clean it up, and make a decorative version, custom for our shop, and that fits in our pattern. I think we're going gas station Fallout
Yeah. Oh, did we drop him?
theme, 1950s to or 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe a little bit of it, but 40s and 50s and primarily what we can do. Uh, Limited on budget, so I'm going to have like a lathe I can afford, a mill I can afford type deal. I'm not going to sell my 1970s lathe to get one that matches for my South Bend lathe. And yeah, I know I have my 1920s too, but
Did you see chat? There's a couple of creators that are already like, "Oh, don't tell me where you're at, because I'll be there."
yeah, and that's partly why I didn't leave the one up, because I'm not totally ready to dox myself.
Yeah.
But
there you go. Slack will come down and work for you. You just got to feed him and board him.
and that's expensive anymore, man.
Food and board, yes, sir.
But yeah, if I had the budget right now, I'd probably buy a place and then turn it into a Airbnb makerspace.
That's my dream, right? That's like, we can talk about our comparisons if you want, because I think what I want to do is a little different than you, but I think yours ends up being similar to what I want anyway. So there's not much you can do about it. Like, I don't know what you're talking about for accommodation, because you already said, well, we might put a mobile on for someone to stay in or whatever. But that's just like building tiny houses, right? It's the same thing. So it's like, and then you got to run power or whatever. But I don't know. Like, I don't know
I
if you want
don't
to
think I can do multiple tiny houses because I am out of ground essentially.
Oh, okay.
I probably have most everything is under roof now. Got enough yard. I'm going to put in hopefully a garden next year to start growing some heirloom seeds and stuff like that. I'd like to put in a greenhouse, but that's going to take up all of my ground that's not under roof. So
you be careful. There's already 2 of them creeping. Look, they're creeping on you already, Bob.
And they actually know where I live too. But but that's the goal. Man,
so
again, if I
chat.
had budget, I would buy a house near us. But
so chat, should we bug Bob about, because we already bugged him about Murph, right? Should we bug him about maybe a maker meetup in the spring and just sort of get him thinking about it? Is that something we should do, chat? Put him
Uh,
on the spot.
spring would kill me.
Make people
So
make people come down and build around him while he works in his shop repairing things. Should we put a
uh,
little bother on him? You know.
spring's not going to happen here
So
because
winter.
that would kill me.
I don't know what your weather. Remember, I'm in Canada, so winter for us is winter. I don't know what winter's like for you.
Winter gets bitter, somewhat bad depending on the year. Uh, a lot of times, I will say I'm south of 62, and anything south of 62 doesn't typically get the snow as far as in the middle of the country. Now you go 100 miles north, not even 100 miles, probably 50 miles north of here, and they'll need snow blowers. There's a highway that goes right across the United States. If you're north of the highway, you can justify a snowblower. If you're miles south of the highway, not you'll
Really?
never justify it.
So sorry,
It
what
seems to
highway is that?
be a
I don't know
cutoff.
anything.
Highway
Sorry,
62 and
Highway 60.
a good chunk of the Midwest.
Yeah.
North of it, you'll get a lot more snow than south of it. It seems to flow right there. 64, sorry.
Are we allowed
But
to tease about Midwest because it is coming up in chat? Are we allowed to talk about that or no?
Midwest is actually on the docket still, but it is a. Thank you, Dave, for the offer. I know you're not too far here. Actually, if we ever got Dave into 3D printing, he's not far from Murph. But the that is on the docket of trying to go to that. We won't know until closer to next year. I've got to.
Yeah,
And that's also cleaning out because a rainy day. I'm this idiot that doesn't take other people's stuff out in the rain, so I store everything inside, and that's partly what I'm trying to open up is more room to store other people's stuff inside, so that I don't treat it badly. And I know all my competitors will park your stuff out in the rain and leave it in a fenced-in yard, or even not even a fenced-in yard, just sitting outside, and just let it be like it is. I won't do that. The entire time I have somebody's equipment, it's indoors, secured. But on rainy days, I'm climbing over stuff. So that becomes a problem. Like I can't use my lifts part of the year. I've got a lift that I can throw a few pieces of equipment on and actually work on them on it. Really nice. But a lot of times I won't be able to use it.
Haas, Dishwasher has already put it forward. It was Dishwasher's idea for Murph. She is, and last week when we talked about it, because we were teasing, she straight up said, "Well, you know." So she's a fan. She definitely wants Bob to go and see everybody and promote the company and all that other stuff. So remember, she's on our side. It's Bob we got to convince.
She's on the side of me going, yes.
Yeah.
But, I think that it's going to be a go, but start looking at Airbnb. I should know closer to spring, but that's about as soon as I can. I don't. Yeah, it's going to be spring before we really know. I think.
Depends on the next 2 months.
Yeah. For a maker meeting. Oh, now that she would need. She would smack me upside the head if I said a maker meetup in the spring.
But when the storefront opens, it might be a different story, right? That's the
yes.
talk.
Now, the storefront may change things. I think it still wouldn't be try to plan an event in the springtime. You would. I do have a way to stack, but when you're stacking other people's stuff, you have to build crates for it because you can't just put forks under it and treat people's equipment like that. Yes, again, I know people do it, but I won't. So that basically is.
You have to realize something about Mr. Biltoverbot himself. He is very much in love with machines, so he treats your machine as if it was his own. And therefore, you get the highest quality repair and service because, again, he loves machines.
Yeah, I have a hard time. The way I always explained it was, I've never actually, I guess I've never been destitute or really down on my luck like some people, but I grew up where we acted like we were poor in a way. We didn't go out and get all the new clothing. We didn't, because we had a business. Um,
No.
so I know what it's like to be broke.
Polymorph. It's built over bought, as in built over. BOUGHT, as in he would prefer to build something or repair something instead of buying something. He's just very clever with his name. That's all.
And as we do things, and I'm going to do history of it because I actually care about the history of the machine. That's weird, I know.
No, it's not.
But everything, all of our furniture is old. I mean, we don't even have like, you're talking like, I don't go buy new couches or new chairs. This desk that I'm sitting at, because we're using the other one for other purposes right now, the one I made for my desk, which was my grandfather's work or butcher block from a grocery store he worked at, and possibly my grandmother worked at that as well before she died at that grocery store. This desk here I had in high school. So we don't have new stuff. Not even, it's like, oh, I'm too poor or I'm too cheap. No, it's just, we don't do that. Everything has a...
Sir, if I may, do you know what that's called?
Minimalist.
Humble.
It's just, that's just, everything's got a purpose. I mean, literally stuff that we've got, we'll keep it forever. And it's just the way we are. If it works, it works. And you buy quality, you don't have to replace it. That's the thing.
That's right. I agree 100%.
I mean, now, a lot of the stuff, we find that people throw out good stuff. So we just take it, and, you know. Oh, now this desk is glass. It's not that great built. Now, the one, yes.
The butcher block table's awesome.
That butcher block desk that I built to be my desk. We do use it every day, but not as it doesn't have my computer on it anymore. That's going out of here over my dead body. You know, and I have actually had people offer us thousands for it already, but it's going out of here over my dead body. It is what it is. And a lot of my stuff is sentimental, and I'm going to make videos. Plus, some of the videos we're going to make, I know people aren't going to like. I don't think people are going to like them, at least. But I think it's important to show the history of some of the things I've collected, because it has a history, and the history, and a lot of history of things are worth telling.
Yep.
Because even if I've not done something cool with it, somebody else has, and to show the equipment that somebody used to make something cool is, I think, inspiring, because, hey, they did that on this drill press. I can too, for example. You know,
yes.
I know that's the most famous piece I have.
That definitely is my opinion. Is like a lot of people nowadays suffer and they can't find their way. Like, oh, what should I do or what can I do? And they don't know that they can learn or they can try and get ahead. Right? That's definitely something that we see a lot of.
Yeah, and some of I don't know the history of that particular one. We'll start telling the history of the machine, or, you know, what did this machine do to change things? That, you know, we all think we need this $1 million machine to make things, and they made things better than anything we've ever done.
What's a machine you and I love that no one's heard of? And I talk about it, and you have one. You have one sitting around.
You're talking about the. You're not talking. Or I don't have a scraper, but
you know, I thought you had a shaper.
No, I won't. I almost bought one. No, I would have bought one, but I chickened out on it. I've looked at a few. I really should have bought the one for a few $100s, but most people have never heard of it. I'll look more seriously when I get because they make one that go on back of a Bridgeport, and I would like to have a Bridgeport, vintage Bridgeport mill. A lot of people actually don't know how to use or what a shaper is for.
Most people don't know because most people think they use a vertical mill with a horizontal cutter on it, and they don't actually know what a shaper is. It's actually a very rare tool that people actually know what it is. So Bob and I have talked about it, and we like them. But what is Bob? So what is the first video project that's coming? It doesn't have to be a timeline, but what's the first one you're going to do?
What I really need to do is the video project on that desk while I still have people that were alive to remember when the fire and everything that came about it and how I have it. And that might be the first one we post. But the gear hobblers are becoming more common again. Shockingly, mecha form. There's a real good use for a gear hobbler. But probably after that, I really am leaning towards the soda machine because I've got to get it done before the bottom rusts out of it to salvage it because there's some really bad rust spots that we got to clean up before they become total cancer. So that one is probably it. After that, I'd like to do the paint shaker.
For that project, because I'm curious, right? So for that project, now we've talked about it a little bit, and I've seen pictures of it. But so, what's the first steps? Are you going to rust inhibit it first, and then backfill with Bondo, or what's? And then I know there's some work on the door and the paint, but how does that project go together for people who don't know?
We're going to disassemble it. I've got to clear out a spot where I can totally take it apart, clean all the rust out of it, and see where I'm at. I may have to. I've thought about, and I don't want to do full Bondo without a backing. If I do that, what I'll do is I'll 3D print some pieces to go inside to stiffen it up, and then Bondo around that to where I've got a stiffener behind it.
Well, and then it allows you to shape the Bondo, right? For sure.
Yeah, it'll make it a little bit finer project because I may have to do that to salvage it. I don't. It's possible we'll cut it off and redo it, but it's going to be hard to make some of those curves the way that they are.
Because they were all press rolled. They were that machine was press rolled for sure.
And it's going to be hard to redo that with the equipment I currently have. So thank you for joining. Is it Dank the Tank on that? That's going to be now Jigbor. I'm not sure what you're talking about on that one.
It's for internal tooling to do internal gears. They have a hobber on the outside; it does the inside. And that's like a jig bore is super old. That's a horizontal mill tool. that's some serious business.
That's actually something I don't, and it's actually somewhat. Sandy will say it's somewhat rare to find a machine I don't have. I also have. I was talking about this yesterday because of the guy that owned it before us a long time ago when I was a child. We have all the tools to make a handsaw. One of those wood saws. I've got all the tooth bending, the cutters, the everything on it, where I can cut it and make a handsaw from a sheet metal. I'd like to restore all that because I don't know if you've ever seen one of that equipment run. It is absolutely beautiful. It looks like little automatrons moving things. It's the most inefficient machine I've ever done, but it is so beautiful to watch run.
Have you seen driven hacksaws?
Yeah. In fact, very similar setup, a little bit more artistic while running for these than the driven or the automatic hand hacksaws, but just as noisy. So I'm trying to figure out how I can make one run to where people can watch it run without making the screech noise for drawing the file.
Yeah.
So I did find a way I can modify it to cut carbide teeth.
Oh, that's cool.
So we may operate it once or twice. I don't think it's going to be something that we're going to run in the shop, but I am going to restore it because it was something I remember enjoying when I was a child, and I acquired it cheap enough. So we are going to restore that. Another one that's probably not going to be a usable item that I'd like to put on the restoration list is a key machine from the 1940s.
Like a
Uh,
key cutter.
yeah, key copying machine. We've got an early model of those with the big old hand cranks to hold the keys down. It's a really pretty one. I'd like to restore that one uh, and put that in the shop. Not something that I'm not going to be cutting keys for people, but we'd like to do that one.
Well, you could cut them
That
as
may wait.
souvenir blanks. You could cut blanks like to a pattern, right? And then it's just a souvenir.
Yeah, and I've actually got some of the vintage key blanks, so I may do some classic cars.
Yeah.
Um,
Just
where
do a random cut blank, not to fit anything, but just a random cut blank, as just sort of like because you were talking about like a front end store and an online store, and I was just thinking because there's a bunch of merch options. Like I say, like their embroidery machine really excites me because it would be cool to see some patches, right? Built over bought Maker Haas, right? I'm excited to see that. You were talking about the paint shaker. That'll be exciting just to have as like a thing to run, just watch it run for people, right?
no, I don't know of any, but that it would be neat as far as if something like that existed. I've never seen anything like. I've never actually heard of anybody doing anything like what I'm wanting to do. This is probably the dumbest idea in the world in a lot of ways, but it it's always been our dream. We're gonna have signs on the back wall from the shops that it used to be here. The reason the gas station type motif is going to be there was a gas station here
Ooh.
back in that time period. Uh, this is sitting on where a gas station was.
Do you have
Uh,
any pumps? Like, do you have any 50s pumps or no?
no, they're too expensive right now.
Yeah.
Now they're going to go down in price, and that might change. And we may 3D print a pump
Yeah.
to go outside for decoration. That's something like that. But uh,
Polymorph came up with a perfect idea for the key cutting machine. Did you see it?
keys into bottle openers or pry tools. That I might do.
That's
That is
smart.
a possibility.
That's really smart.
And we at some point I'm going to do a giveaway for and do something of that as far as Patreon members. I've not been trying. Right now we're trying to fund it ourselves. I'd like to have something going before I go to people and say, "Hey, donate to me."
But
Uh,
that's the merch store, right? Like that's like
and that's
not
what the merch is going to be. It's not going to be donate to me. It's going to be buy. Hopefully, if you want something, buy a merch and have something
right. That I feel
because
the
I
same
feel
way.
better.
Yeah. But did you know? So West Coast Choppers, Jesse James, that's how he got started. For 3 years, he was selling merch for something that didn't exist until he got his start. Just so you know.
Um, and we're working on some of it. It's going to be some stupid merch, like some dumb T-shirts we're going to do. But
Did,
what I've been trying
have
to
you
do
seen
is
the Maker
organize it to
Viking
where.
merch?
I'm sorry.
Have you seen the Maker Viking merch based on you?
No, I haven't.
Bob made
Uh,
me do it. I'll see if I can find the
what?
link. Maker Viking, send me the link. I'll send it to Bob.
Okay. I've done some. We've got some shirts that are going up, but the problem is we decided we were. My wife is a dishwasher. um, but we I started a merch store, and then it's like, well, I'd like to make the merch, and we're again, it's getting everything set up to where we manufacture it to where we put our hands on it. Same as why I don't like AI art in what I'm selling to customers. I want it to be, and when people are buying from us, I want it to be basically, and that's is a problem. Shipping is a killer,
Yeah.
but I want it to be something that I hand up did.
Yeah.
I want it to be um, that nature. We're
Like
I'm,
unsigned Maker tubes. Like
Yeah.
unsigned maker tubes,
I
Bob.
hadn't thought about signing things, but that is something I probably need to get is paint pens to where I can actually do stuff like that.
I am so butthurt. I love I love it. It's awesome, but unsigned.
Uh, I need to get some paint pens to where we can actually some of the marker or paint stuff and sign some of the finer tip stuff for that. These are not that expensive. It's just I know
Well,
I'm a tight ass.
I carry with me a paint pen, wide tip, so I can just draw. And then I carry with me a silver, because you can always tell it's me, silver magic marker. That's what I carry. Fine for sound.
I've got a that I use in the back. Do have a purple one.
Nice.
That because most mechanics aren't willing to use purple or pink.
Pink, yep.
Uh, just like I use yellow fingernail polish has always been my. For those that don't know, fingernail polish is very difficult to get off. And if you paint a straight line in a bolt, you can tell if a bolt's been moved. So
They're known as witness marks.
yes, there was a time when most mechanics would pick out a color of fingernail polish, and everybody in their shop would know what color fingernail polish they ran. That was a thing. Spray deodorant will tell you an oil leak, if any of you didn't know. The cheap stuff. If you go to the dollar store and you get the cheapest spray deodorant out there, it'll tell you a leak on oil. Use red paint pens. I know the paint pens have gotten better about not washing off, but I guess I'm old school and it's just been habit to use fingernail polish.
Well,
So I've got a bottle of yellow.
like fingernail polish is great, but paint pens, like we use them all right. Like we used to use them all the time, but they're limited in their color. So like typically you'll see a yellow, white, or red. That's like the ones that are mostly supplied. But having like a purple or a pink, those are definitely personal ones, and you can see that, right? Okay,
Yeah,
let us have a good day.
thanks for lurking, and hopefully you enjoy your potatoes. The red harlot, everybody used that, so that wasn't really. You want for a while I used hot pink when I was a teenager because that was
That's why you spray your tools with weird colors, because then when someone takes them, especially if it's because you'll see green, black, white, but if you paint them pink, you paint them orange, you paint them green, when somebody takes it or it's missing, you can find it. It's really easy, right? Because not a lot of people will do that, right?
and pressure washer will take that paint pen right off.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But for some reason, a pressure washer does not typically take off the fingernail polish once it's dry.
Probably because it's a lacquer as opposed to a paint, right?
So
Yeah, pink is anti-theft. Yep, absolutely. It's easy to find.
yeah, it is anti-theft for pink tools and stuff like that. But when I was a teenager, it wasn't that common of a fingernail polish. It was easy to buy because you go to any store in the early '90s, late '80s, and you could find pink fingernail polish. So it's easy to get a hold of, but it wasn't something that a lot of mechanics would keep in their toolbox. And it didn't. I mean, it really didn't bother me because we had mostly family members, and who cared? They were going to make fun of you for having fingernail polish when they had fingernail polish in their drawer.
Absolutely.
It didn't matter. Use automotive clear coat. Uh, yeah, I mean, again, every mechanic's got his own tips. We're doing budget repairs. I mean, even today, a lot of my stuff, when I fix it, it's under $200 for the full repair, parts included.
Super inexpensive.
So I'm on the cheaper side of a mechanic. And the cheaper unless you're doing hack work, which there is that people do that, cheap is hard to do as a mechanic. I mean, because time is money too. You got to diagnose fast. You got to. It's a problem to do cheap and good. I mean,
Well, it's scale,
it's
right?
really
That's the
yeah.
problem with scale pricing. Like it used to be okay. Scale pricing used to be okay, but nowadays, because the way things are and the price of things, it's really hard to do scale. So I like I say I don't. I'm an hourly guy, so everything I do is based on hours, just because I can't work for scale.
My problem is I charge what it should have taken, as if I was the best mechanic in the world. And that is not a smart way to be billing. It's like, oh, well, if I didn't miss this and I would have got it done in this amount of time, this is what it is. And I lose a lot of time on that. But, it's not the best way in the world to do it.
Yeah, that's a good
Well,
repair.
I'm not talking that cheap, dank to tank. As far as I do repair things properly. I'm not going to wrap a tin can around it and call it an exhaust leak.
Well, especially when
But
you cut pipe out and weld it in, it's fast. Especially with modern MIGs, like MIG is
you can't
crazy.
weld a modern exhaust. They're too thin.
Are they?
Yeah. Uh, if you do weld, it's going to break right next to the weld.
Yeah, yeah, it'd
You're
get
not.
brittle. Yeah.
You're not looking at it. I. I'll. That's where I try to follow a line. I don't. I don't want to do the most expensive repair in the world, but I want to do it right. I don't. I won't rig anything, and plus, I might not be as good of a welder or a good enough welder to weld a muffler, for example, on most equipment. There's a few times I've seen it done, but 9 chances out of 10 I've seen it break.
Oh yeah, and that's normal, right? Because within about an inch of the weld, either side tends to get quite brittle.
Yeah, and you're talking a lot of vibration off an engine. Realistically, you're also talking old metal that's rusted.
All
If it's
rot.
already got a hole in the first, um, you're it's a problem. So I don't. I do proper repair, but I'm also not trying to spend, or I'm trying to do it fast.
Efficiently, not fast, but
Yeah.
efficient. Yeah, yeah. Bob, I gotta take a
Uh,
few minutes to get up and stretch, or I'll be stiff. So
all
I'll
right.
I'll just step away. Is that cool?
Let me. Yeah. Let me pull. Yeah. Remove you. That your audio is still on, unless you want me to mute that. Okay. I All I've done is braze aluminum. Not much of that. I realistically on that type of repair, it's a problem most of the time. Your best bet is just replace the part on aluminum, and a lot of it's mixed with other materials, so you're not looking at pure aluminum, so it's not going to braze very well. I know there is a welding technique, but I'm not uh, capable of that. JB Weld. They do make some putties that actually are half decent, Tech Jeeper. I'm not a particular fan of JB Weld, but there are some actual products that work with somewhat success. Again, you still have the problem that broke it in the first place most of the time. Most time when a weld or a housing breaks, it's worse than that. I mean, I've seen it. Typically, I let other people do those repairs. Uh, and TIG welding would be actually the proper repair if any weld is going to hold, Dave. It's just I've never seen one last, so I don't do it. Now I am going to, for one of my own pieces of equipment, I'm going to cut a muffler and use it's braced in another manner, and you or try it to seal it back up. But I got nothing to lose. I'm just going to use it for something to haul or equipment around. I am the kind of welder that Santa buys a grinder for, so I'm not going to knock anybody's welding. So, you actually mufflers do more than just exhaust technically anymore. Tech cheaper. You do actually have back pressure, so they kind of need mufflers. Contrary to popular opinion, if you want your engine to last a long period of time, you need a muffler.
Or neighbors to like you.
Yeah. Or, as she said, all your neighbors to like you. But I don't think he cares much about that right now. But, I do some welding. I have a couple welders, but I don't. And you ever notice that a Harley needs to be repaired as much as it's driven? But then again, I mean, check the oil in a Harley by if it's still leaking. You don't know what. Not sure what you mean by that one, Peekaboo. I can appreciate a Harley bike, but we all know they're not house trained. Anybody that likes a Harley probably knows they're not house trained. Oh, I missed it. What you're talking about as far as what I said. Yeah, I am trying to get the stuff done as far as in the back, and I apologize. I'm not moving fast enough for everybody, but it takes a while to get everything cleaned up to where I can stream back there or feel comfortable streaming.
I just want to see all the junk you have before it gets hauled off. Huh? Really? No.
Even the bicycle leaked oil. That is fitting for Harley. I'm pretty sure that was in the design. Oh, I need to make her up. Okay, I had to see. I think the design of a Harley was intended to leak oil so that you could tell it had oil.
Harleys. So the only stories I have for Harleys when I was looking at bikes for a while there, my grandpa said, you know what, you're gonna pay through the face. Everything on a Harley's at least $100 to fix. He says, go get yourself a Honda. They're not you're not getting into bike culture because you want to be cool. You're getting into bike culture because you want to ride. And my grandpa rode his Goldwing for years and years and years. Big cruising bike. Brought his wife along. It was good times. That I yes. Would I take a Harley to repair? Yeah, that'd be fun because it's easy enough. It's a mechanic's bike. But yeah, like Bob says, they leak like a sieve. They're better now at post 2010. They're much better, but you're still paying for the name, right? So if you want to ride, get something you can afford, right? Like don't get into bike culture just because Harleys are cool. Get into bike culture because riding is cool. There's a lot of world out there, especially down in the United States, like through the arid states like uh, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, California, up into the Midwest. It's really beautiful country. Like when I was down there for Murph, I couldn't believe how beautiful the country was. We took one of the big highways. I do have opinions. I know roadworks are coming, but in general, the roads are actually pretty nice. And bike culture is not about being chill or being cool. Ride what you ride and love what you ride because you can always change it, right? You can take the fairings off.
And there are some brands that are just religions.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. Absolutely.
I always say John Deere's a religion, not a tractor company.
And I'm not, and
And
I hate John Deere. I like the
I don't hate
machine,
John Deere.
but I don't like the company.
I actually don't even. I don't hate John Deere, but it is a religion. There are people that uh, I actually know people that have idols to John Deere in their yard. I mean, you're talking. I mean, you're talking a religion brand. We used to sell Bobcat equipment. That's a religion brand. There are
Oh yeah,
people that.
I love Bobcat. Casey
Uh,
Bobcat.
yeah, there's people. Some of these brands are just religions.
Um,
It is what it is.
Indians are back. Go take a look at the Indian full fender and go take a look at the Lee Enfield full fender. Both beautiful, beautiful bikes. Yeah. So, do you have any tractors in the back that you're willing to tell us about, Bob?
There's nothing cool in the back. That's the problem.
No, don't lie. No, just because you
uh,
don't think it's cool doesn't mean it isn't cool. Because I know you got lots of stuff hidden away. And like Sandy was saying, like we just want to see what you got. But you run the danger now, sir. You run the danger of bringing in people who just want to come in and help you. Because now we know that you're interested in it. Now we know what you want to get to Murph. And I would love to help get you to Murph. I don't know how I can do that because I myself, if I want to go to Murph, right, I got a plan for Beans and I, and then we got to find a local to take care of us. But yeah, we would like. There's lots of. You have no idea the influence you've got, sir.
now I think I like to claim at this moment, Sandy's just feels like she's stuck with me. I don't think that I don't think she finds a tractor sexy. Do you? No. Yeah. I don't know that she ever would have guessed that she would have ended up here, though. Thinking
She,
about it,
she is in love with a mechanic, and once
I
you know
was
that,
not a mechanic when I met her.
but you are now.
Yes, I was not working as a mechanic when I met her.
Working at a casino.
Yes, at the time when I met her, I was working at a casino as an IT security analyst.
I've never heard of Walker
So
Motors.
Walker is a cult, but
Are you gonna hold your tongue on that one?
what?
I can't believe you're holding your tongue on that one.
The fact that you can outrun a walker with a walker.
Yes.
But
Not to everybody.
Walker mowers are slow, or they were for a long time. I guess they're getting better, but it yeah, that is a point. Bad mechanics all do have bad backs, but these are hunched over things.
Yep.
There's every type of industry has its cults. So where this is the best one made, this is the best thing. No, and I know I ruffle feathers sometimes. Even I think in this industry when I say something about bamboo being a cult, I actually believe
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, bamboo's got its own. Well, but the same. Like we were talking today on the show, we were talking about Prusa or Prusa.
Prusa used to be a cult. I don't think it is as much anymore, but it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh well, Prusa makes a better printer. They actually had quality control. The problem is nobody else was using quality control, so it gave Prusa this level of this is a better quality printer than everybody else when it really wasn't. I'm not knocking the guy.
Yeah.
He just was actually paying attention when he put it together.
Well, remember, him and Voron are the only two really still pushing for open source, right? And did you see the new Voron IDEX that's coming?
No, I have not. I've been kind of in my own world.
Yeah.
The next printer, I'm hoping to get a hold of a belt printer at some point, and then a tool changer.
So, what kind of belt are you looking for? Are you looking at something like the Baby Belt or the CR30?
I would probably end up with a Baby Belt, considering what I want it for. I don't need a huge belt printer. I'm not looking at doing cosplay with it necessarily. I'm looking at maybe some toolbox boxes, some crown molding, that sort of thing. So a Baby Belt will do it. And I think would be a better fit for what I'm doing.
Did you see that there's a new Baby Belt out?
No. Somebody has offered to send me a broken old Baby Belt. I'm probably going to try to fix that up if I do it.
Yeah, the new. So I was talking to Princeptuals because I love Princeptuals. They're the ones who did Baby Belt. There is a Core XY Baby Belt coming.
This may actually be one of the samples of the Core XY.
Ooh, schmancy.
If I remember seeing it right.
Yep.
I think that the way the belts looked like they were routed on it when he first brought it out, it might have been one of the concepts.
So on the armatures, and remember the Baby Belts, for those of you who don't know, the Baby Belt is a shoebox or travel printer, and it fits in that's the whole concept behind it. Everything Princeptuals works on is designed to be sort of small. But yes, the armature prints at 30 degrees or 45 degrees, and there's a new gantry built. But again, you can follow all that stuff on GitHub.
Yeah, and that's what I plan on doing. And I may have to totally and utterly rebuild it. I don't know,
Yeah.
but either that or I'm going to build a baby belt because that's the as far as something that I'd like to see for its own purpose. Do I think the baby belt's the end all be all? No, because you really can't do multicolor with it efficiently. I guess it's theoretically possible, but um, yeah, it's going to be difficult. So that's an issue. And then you got, well, there's all kinds of issues, but as far as multicolor, but for a single purpose, it's got its reason.
Well, hold on. Did you know that baby belts are clipper enabled?
I did know that, and I was kind of apprehensive about that because I always joke about the clipper religion on here, but I don't think you can run an experimental printer without clipper.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think that most people need to put clipper on their printer.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Do you want it to run? If it's a box printer, I think you don't want clipper. If all you want to do is operate the printer and you just want it to operate and work, you don't want clipper. If you're building your own printer and you're going to mod it all the time, clipper is the way to go because it's easy to mess with things. But the problem is it's easy to mess with things. And that's why a lot of people that are clipper religion people, their printers are always broke. They're working on their printer more than they're printing with their printer. And it's not because clipper is bad. It's because they can mess with it until it's broke. And not everybody needs to be messing with their printer. You know, most of these things will work out of the box. I mean, let's be real. Even Enders, with a few mods, they weren't that bad. You could take an Ender 3 and you could print with it.
Well, like for me, when I started with the Ender 3 V1, and like the one thing for me, like, and I played with it until it was broken, right? But the one thing for me was being able to go in and swap out the head to a direct drive head, and that was so that I could do TPU, right? So
And that's fine. And there's also the fact that some people enjoy that, and that's what uh, we need. And I would like to build a tool changer out of my old printer because I don't want to spend a fortune on a big, large multicolor printer. I don't have the money, and I'm not going to
well,
do it.
remember that the U1, I think the retail market for it is 1,200. But again, it'll be a different culture because remember Snapmaker uses Orca as opposed to say Bamboo, and Bamboo Studios works best for Bamboo in my experience.
Mm-hmm. Now we run Bamboo Studio. There's no benefit for Orca on multiple printers, Bamboo printers. So I don't do um, Orca on that. But the I don't know, and maybe I'll change my mind if I can get a hold of one cheap enough, I guess. But realistically, I don't see the uh, perk of running a tool changer that I don't buy right now, or a smaller tool changer. If I've got a printer, I could, and it'd be nice to build one in a lot of ways. I'll be honest. I want one that looks like it matches the rest of our equipment. So in some ways, I want to build a style printer that's mine, you know,
Yep.
that fits in with my shop. So, and I can't. That's the reality. So it'd be nice to build my own printer, and I think we need open source printers.
Yes,
I do on that.
I agree. Yep.
I also don't see any reason why I can't use my 470 millimeter bed essentially to build a printer because I don't need a printer bigger than that. I'm not
That's
printing
huge.
chairs.
Like the 400 I have, I end up using the core of it, right? Because it's the bed heats either full or core, but and then because I use mine's tool swapper, so I'm able to switch to laser or mill. But that's for sure, right? Like, and I agree with that. I think that a lot of people get hung up on size, but 256 standardizing 256 or 300 is actually like a 300 mil bed is 30 centimeters plus whatever height you get. So I think the Sun Lu was 400 or 450. So you have a 310 bed by 450. That's a big build place, right? And you don't plan on doing full helmets, right?
I don't plan on really doing. I may do a cosplay at some point for ourselves. Have a good one, Dave.
Lots of
I'm
love. Be
not.
safe.
I may do some cosplay for like family members, but I'm not going to be specializing in cosplay. So I'm not going to do helmets.
Yeah.
Now I have talked about, because I do like the Fallout motif, and there it was a flying group that actually flew out of my hometown that was done by women that had a really neat mascot for it. So it would not be beyond me to make a Fallout outfit with that mascot on it, just because I think it would have been neat. It was the only flying symbol designed by Walt Disney.
Oh, that's cool.
So that I think it would be neat. It also, there's a story behind it that it's weird that a cartoon changed the design motif for 20 to 30 years, that all out of a cartoon, drilled it into people's heads. So, and it was, the Gremlins during World War II, there was an ad to, because if you let a corner on a ship happen, it will rust and it'll cause corrosion on it. So they want to put no angles. And they drilled it into everybody's head to not put a corner on anything. That's why I think cars went more angular and more styled for years after that, because they drilled it in everyone's head. There are posters on it. There's a cartoon called The Gremlins that they use for advertising for that. There's some posters still around. So the fact that Walt Disney did this cartoon that never took off outside of World War II, and then did the flying logo, I think it would be neat to do a Fallout armor set for it. The weird thing is the unit that used it was all women. So it would be a little bit off me wearing a cosplay with a female pilot symbol on it. But
But we love
I just
Rosie the
think the neat
Riveter.
story is neat.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd love to have a Rosie the Riveter poster or print. Like, I don't know if anyone's done a Hue Forge, but I would love to. I love Rosie the Riveter. I think that's really great, right? Like,
But I just think the story, the history behind it, the fact that it was real, the fact that it was an interesting thing that changed design forever, I think. All of that, I think if I was going to do it, that would be what I do. A power armor with that logo on it. As if it was the Women's Flying Corps for the United States. That's what they used. Was that Gremlin. As I said, it's just a neat little thing. It was also, again, the only patch designed by Walt Disney, which is also, again, neat. There's a lot of things to it. But if I did a 3D printed costume, that would be it. I think that would be the only one. I'm not it. I know it's weird. I'm not a gamer. I'm not a cosplayer. I was always just somebody that fixed things.
are you going to do another Pip-Boy? Because didn't you have a Maglev Pip-Boy?
No, I had it was the guy from Fallout holding a plate that had a maglev frog on it.
Yeah. So
So I am
A
probably going to
Pip-Boy with
be.
a that's cool, man.
I don't know. I don't. In fact, I don't think we ever released the file on that.
No.
I think that was actually mainly because, again, the Fallout theme fits the 1940s gas station motif, because that's essentially what half the set is 1940s cars and stuff in decay, houses, everything like that. It fits our aesthetic. And I'll be perfectly honest, our aesthetic started by being cheap. No, I do not have the CL files for my beard, but I'm not sure I would actually classify this one as one of the stronger beards in there. If you want a strong beard, go for a bearded printer. That man's got a nice beard.
And he's a
Let's
sweetheart.
give him credit. I'm not making fun of his beard, by the way. That's a nice beard. This is more. I don't like to shave sometimes, although I am trying to grow it out. Following bearded printer's advice, because it gets a beard is warm in the wintertime when you're out in the shop. So Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he grew the beard himself, but I do not have. On next stream I'll try to remember to print a floppy beard to stick on, or at least if I shave, I'll do a floppy beard.
I heard it grew himself.
Yeah, but I don't know about. I'm going to do some cosplay for my niece coming up, but I don't think I'm going to post much of that. I don't know. I hate selling STL files of IP, and I get we could share it for free, but I I don't know what would the color scheme of floppy disk be. I mean, they were
Black and silver.
by the time most of us remember for 3.5 disc. I mean, I guess you got the real floppies, uh, black, but most people wouldn't even recognize that as a disc anymore. Let's be real.
True.
The 5.25 disc. I mean, how many people remember that?
8-inch, right? The big ones.
Let's see. I don't remember the 8-inch. I had reel to reel probably at the original stage.
Wow. You're old school.
Well, I skipped a few things because they were too damn expensive. The ones I remember were like 5.25, I think, on it, and then 3.5. But I don't remember. I never had any of the 8-inch ones. I'm not denying that they exist. I don't remember them, but
Yeah.
the zip drives, those I had a zip drive, but I don't think many people ever did the zip drives.
I think they're going to come back. I like zip drives, and I honestly think they're coming back. Because there's got, like, USB drives are nice, but I ruin, like, USB cards all the time.
Yeah, but you didn't eject it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we do that.
for real, it happens all the time.
I actually think it's going to be optical. I think you're going to be a DVD-like.
Yeah, you think we're going back to DVDs? I think that's a good idea. I'm not against it.
They've gotten the format to where it stores about 10 times the data. I actually think we're going to go back to. It won't be a DVD, but it will be
Blu-ray, right?
It'll be something a similar technology. I actually think that's coming back, but I could be wrong. I mean, maybe I have seen some signs where they're going to put storage on those rings that people wear, health rings.
Oh yeah.
I think that might happen. Welcome in, Sigareki. Where you put your ring on a little magnetic charger-looking thing.
Yeah.
I think that may actually become a thing in our lifetime. But technically, anything we can envision is going to be old hat for too long.
Yeah.
I think everything's going to change.
Port storage?
I
I don't know
don't
about
know
port
how much
storage.
quartz there is in the.
Well, it can be engineered, right? Ports can be engineered, so.
I mean, I think you're talking too expensive for quartz storage.
Yeah.
But again, anything I could say is just theories. But then again, I mean, and stuff is slower sometimes than what we think. I remember working on what became Google Glass in 1999.
Yes.
So now the batteries were huge. And the entire concept was different than what it actually became. But I guarantee you that some of those same people followed it through to the end. The display was the same. It was similar technology. It was built by a cell phone company. The concept was to where you could track your kids originally, and then it started morphing into directions and other things. But I guarantee that became and Google owned that company at the end. So before Google Glass came out, so I guarantee you some of that stuff followed all the way through. But and I wasn't a lead project on it. I just remember doing some stuff for it in 1999. I do think physical media is still important and more important than what we really should be, because you can buy movies now and you don't own them. You don't own anything.
Yeah.
And that is a problem. Not that I care that I own a movie or not, but
Well, if you want to go watch something, you're not always going to get that chance, right? Like because sometimes it just gets wiped out from whatever it is, right?
yeah, I guess I'm old because in 1999 I was out of college, so I'm an old guy. I don't think that's Google, or his was Google Glass. Mad Scientist Slack. I think he built that out of that himself. Because his actually was just a teleprompter. I she has DVDs. She used to collect them, but I don't even know what she owns. The lens was. I thought he built. I think his is all DIY. I don't watch everything he does or did. I'm not. I don't have any issues with him. I just don't go to YouTube as much as I should. But I'm pretty sure he did everything, including the optics. The optics on Google Glass is not as special as you think it is. It's just a refraction device. It just shows a screen through there. That's not. Now, there are some silicone-based ones that are advanced, that are above beyond what Google Glass has done. I have not seen that in the public, where it basically put a lens inside of or a screen inside of the glass. I haven't seen that in public. Now, I'm sure it exists, but I've not seen that in public. Okay, he couldn't get another lens. He bought it from somebody, I bet, though. Because I'll say that's just a refraction display. So, yeah, and there are a lot of people doing that now.
Well, there's a new one that's come out and it gives you a screen that's 10 by 10, 10 feet by 10 feet. It's like an AR that you can see through. I just saw a thing for it.
Right, I think that's the silicone one,
It
where
uses
it's sandwiched.
OLEDs.
Yeah, but it's yeah. I think it will be a different. That's different than what you can normally buy yourself.
Yeah.
Now we can only our stream will get killed here in about 30 minutes. We'd have to restart.
Whatever you like, dude. I'm here. I'm happy to
But
chat with you.
we'll probably I may try to raid out and then start another stream if everybody wants. That way we can at least raid so nobody gets killed or kicked out of the stream. To a point. I think that for smart glasses to actually work, you're going to have to have a. I'm trying to think. You're going to have safety glasses.
Yeah, you need some sort of lens. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about as far as that people can wear in a plant. If we're actually going to make smart glasses useful, you're going to need something where you can put specs up or something of that nature on augmented reality. That's when it's going to take off. When people are using it at work, I think it's going to take off. Facial recognition would be really nice in a lot of places. That would be, and that is possible now. Sadly, I'm not sure I like that, but myself, because I'm not, I don't like Big Brother as much, but No, I do think that's actually possible now. I see that as a useful thing, but I think if you want it full on adoption, you're going to be seeing it on the plant site with specs.
Yeah.
And I think they're looking at it wrong. If somebody would produce that, there's a market for it. All your engineers will have it.
Oh, it'd be great. Like if I could wear safety glasses and bring up a diagram or an exploded view of something. Oh yeah, man. Sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody actually made safety glasses that, thank you for the raid, Kaisen.
Guys,
Uh, if somebody did safety glasses to where it was augmented reality inside the glasses, we're looking at full on adoption for engineers at least. And then once you get there, there's a market for everything else. Welcome in. I am a 3D designer, and we're just streaming, chatting, basically. If anybody wants to join in, let me post a link. Other people can join us as well. Just click on the link and come on in. We can have up to 12 people on. I like diagrams on paper, but there's an entire thing where if you can bring up, and especially torque specs or something, and put it in the corner, torque pattern in the corner of your screen, right in your eyes, while you're working on something, um, that would be for any engineer, technician, mechanic. Uh, I'm saying torque specs, so you're looking at millwrights,
machinist.
industrial mechanic, machinist, all of that's going to be there. If you could put machine stats right on the screen, the conversation right now is about the future right now, futurism, but we'll talk about anything. I'll answer questions.
Yeah, heavy duty mechanic. Yep.
Um, yeah, that's what I say. Truck mechanics. If you could put specs,
Hi, Files.
stats about your engine, you're looking at a full-on adoption for it. But nobody's actually trying to do that.
Like if we could get an exploded, like just doing valves, like doing valves and lifters in a diesel, for example, to get that open up. Oh, or if you're doing, say, like you're doing a roller, like where you're making wire and all the little fidgety springs and all that stuff, and then preloads on the springs because for all the rollers, all has to be pre-rolled. Oh man, medical, yeah, but nobody's doing it, and even medical needs protective lenses because like in case something splashes on them, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
love
think
that.
they
I
are
love.
doing some full-on AR, like the Facebook one or whatever it is. Some of those are actually being used in medical because they're using robots to do the job anyway, using joysticks. But for mechanic, we can't do that. You got to have a small lens. You got to have something tight to your head because you got to fit in a tight package. Um, yeah, I'm not talking Tony Stark levels.
No.
That's way a ways. We're talking literally like torque specs or a diagram. Uh,
Yep.
we're talking simple things that they could do now if they just put them in safety glasses to where you could bring up a PDF and just the dark parts will show on it. I guarantee you. Um, I know I'm not the only one to think about it, but I've not seen it out. Peekaboo. I mean, we're talking. If they would do that, there's a market for it, and engineers will buy it.
Oh, everybody, but like every plant I've been in, if you could, because like how many times do I got to go back and find a diagram of something, draw it out or whatever, take a picture of it, and then go work on something? Yeah, absolutely. Whether it be a big machine or a small
Or
machine.
print it out and have the paper sitting there. But if you could put it right in your eye, I would think it would have to be in the lens,
Oh
guys.
yeah, yeah.
A projector or one of like the Google Glass would work, but actually, I'd say the Google Glass for most of us would work if they'd done it in that manner. Um, and they do have it in AR headsets, but they can actually build it currently with current technology in glasses. You could run an external battery for it.
Yep, I wouldn't mind.
Uh, it's not. We're not talking something that's not buildable now. that would have a marketplace for it. But the problem is getting a company to build it. They're wanting to go to the consumer market, and I think this is one of those things where they built it for the industrial market first, because Google Glass was a failure. They need to have something on the lens with the AR where it's used and makes people's lives better right off the bat, and then they can work on the apps and improve on it. But we're saying if you can bring a PDF up in front of your eyes, it would actually work. AR contact lenses, I'm not willing to do that.
No.
I know it's
Like,
going to happen, but
but then when you close your
no.
eyes, you still see whatever's there. That's why I don't want lenses. I want it on. I want it so I can take it off. Because yeah, they talked about that and people hacking in and doing all kinds of weird stuff to the transmitters. No, I like the idea of like a pair of sunglasses, right? So like reinforced sunglasses, shock value, wear them, and if I need to, I can look up here and oh, this spring has a preload of say 10 pounds. This spring is like 5 newtons. It doesn't like universal figures, of course, but then the springs, like just doing engines alone. Could you imagine? Oh, let alone complex sorting machines.
Yeah, and that's what now if they could get augmented reality with AI to where it tell you what you're looking at and then give you the specs for that. Yes, that would be better. I'm not, and that's what they're shooting for. But if they just brought up the first, they could sell people on the idea. Sometimes we always try to take giant leaps when a step would be all that would be needed and change people's lives. They do. I mean, again, they had the lens and everything for Google Glass working in 1999. I saw it personally, had it on my head, and worked on it. And I think that's another problem that they're doing with a lot of that is cameras, and that's probably one thing where the safety glasses may not want AI telling you what it is because people don't want cameras,
Yeah.
especially in plants.
Oh yeah, for
Uh,
sure, for sure.
so uh, there's some places that you still have to put your phones in boxes to go in. Uh, I know when I did the casino, I couldn't go into certain rooms with my phone. I don't
Whenever
know if it's
we
still that way, but
whenever we did prison services for doors or anything like that, that was like nope, no phone. Um, when we did some of the more like advanced hospital stuff, no phone. Um, airport, airport, you were allowed most of the airport, but certain sections, no phone. Yeah, for sure.
well, I did prison doors last what I'd say 6 years ago. Last time I did prison doors, they allowed me a phone in there then, but I do remember a time when to go in and do even computer work, you had to lock your phone up. So that's changed. I don't know about the casino. Is that I've not been inside a count room in years, but used to the count rooms you weren't allowed to have a phone. But in a count room, you had to change clothes to go in and out of it. You had to wear overalls with um, their clothes to where you couldn't get into have pockets and get stuff out of there. I wasn't allowed to do it in some government facility buildings that I did consulting in. I had to turn my phone in. Uh, but I said the the jail I was allowed 6 years ago to do the doors with a phone. So that had changed. I don't know. Again, there's all kinds of. I doubt. Actually, I was told Toyota because they got a plant here. Some of the places you're not allowed to have a phone there. You have to turn it in before you can go. So there are still places, and I guarantee you, some military facilities are that way. You know,
Yeah.
DARPA, I bet, doesn't allow you to walk around with a phone.
Well, or maybe it's one of their phones, which means that they're
Yeah.
they're watching you, right?
Or yeah, but at least that you can't transmit data outside of their network on it.
Yeah. And you might be able to have it, and then you have to give it back, right?
Welcome in, Bougie. Thank you for the raid. See, you're saying no personal devices at your job. Here, I'm used to. Well, I claim to be the boss because I do own the place, so I am allowing myself to have my phone. But I do get that. I've worked at places. When I worked at Motorola, I had to use their phone on the site. Uh, you know, I don't know how much they were monitoring me, but it was their phone, their two-way pager, because that was a thing back in those days. We had a little computer you flipped out. I don't know if you remember those or not. I had one of those and two-way radio and all kinds of crap. Satellite phone too. Uh, so I'm
Bob,
sure I got brain cancer.
how are we doing for timers?
We have 15 minutes before I have to raid out and then can restart
Am I
because I've
coming
got too
back?
many people not to. Yeah.
I'm
I
doing
think
a
you
bunch
won't be kicked.
of paperwork.
Okay. Uh, I was at the telecommunications division.
I'll grab my harness. If we're gonna chill, I'm gonna
Okay.
grab my harness. Okay, Bob?
All right. I'm going to kick you out of the scene for a second. I am going to go look because in Twitch, let me see, it's going to kick some of us out. Is anybody streaming? Okay, I am going to raid into static tides here in a few minutes and then restart my stream. That way, if anybody, instead of anybody gets kicked out, then at least I'll have them someplace else because it's going to kill it. Yeah, a lot of people worked for Motorola. I mean, I worked there myself. I mean, the facility I've got, I think, is nothing now, or where I worked at, because I am just trying out the EV Mux website, and they kicked me out at 2 hours, so I have to restart, and I don't want anybody kicked out to nothing. So what we're going to do is raid here in a minute, and then restart. I'm going to restart the stream. If anybody wants to come back, I would appreciate it, but I know some people are on a raid train, and I don't want them dumped to nowhere. Set up, so at least in there someplace, and might walk in and see a stream. But yeah, I mean, Motorola used to have a lot of people. It, I think there were 1,500 people at the plant I worked at, the main plant. I did the I did the programs going to the Universal and Siemens machines, or the networking. I'll pay you next month, Tech Cheaper, and I'm sure you know I'm good for it. He says he's not coming back unless I pay him. Um, I'm adding you back. Okay, we are. So I'm going to raid out to Sus here, and then I'm going to restart this stream and start back in.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just doing a ton of paperwork on the back end because there's like, well, since you don't mind and we're chatting and whatever, right?
Yeah, let's make sure the raid went. Yes, I think so. Stop the broadcast.